Today on Everyday Tactical Vids, we're taking a look at the Condor Woodworker Axe. As we start off, let me give you some of the specs. Your overall length, 18 inches. Blade material is 1045 high carbon steel. It is forged. The blade finish is what they call Condor Classic. It is an American hickory handle. Your overall weight is 2.1 pounds and the weight of the head is 1.5 pounds. The head dimensions 5.5 inches by 3 3/8, and this product is made in El Salvador. The Condor Woodworker Axe is going to run you between $35 up to $50 or so. And I will note that Condor has a wide variety of axes and hatchets that look pretty similar to this. Some of them have longer handles, some have shorter handles. So if you generally like this style but you want something a little bit different, Condor may have a good option out there for you. Now as you look at the axe, you may be thinking, that looks kind of dirty. Are you sure it's brand new? Well, it is brand new, but I did take it out the other day. I was using it as I was working on some lean-to construction, and it was out in the snow and the dirt there. I'll tell you a couple things. First is that from the factory, it came to me not terribly sharp. So I used it for a bit that day, but I felt to give it a fair review, I would use it a little bit then, take it home, do the in-studio review, give you some of the details about it, and then sharpen it up and then use it again so I can give you a better sense of how it functioned. Here's a look at the sheath. As you can see, it does say Condor up here. This strap goes around the back of the head of the axe and then snaps into place. Does a good job keeping the sharpened edge of the axe safe and secure, and it is nice and lightweight, so you're not adding a lot of extra weight to the axe by having a huge sheath. This is very compact, simple, but it does get the job done. Here's what the sheath looks like when it's on the axe, and the other side. As I noted earlier, I will sharpen the axe up and we'll take it out and get some footage of me using it as I continue the review process, but I did want to offer two initial thoughts. The first one is that I did find the circumference of the handle pretty big. I'm 6'2", I've got large size hands, maybe between large and extra large, and it was still pretty big for me to get a solid grip on it. So keep that in mind. If you have very small hands, this handle might not be the right one for you. Now the other thing I'll note that's very positive is because of the way the axe is built, you can choke up and do some fine work. And let me show you what it looks like to get that kind of grip. What you're seeing here is one of the elements that makes this a woodworker's axe. You can really choke up all the way to the head of the axe. So if you have a stick and you're shaving branches off or trying to get some shavings off of that to get a fire started, this allows you to choke up really, really high on the axe to do that work. And as I was taking some small branches off some larger limbs that I was using for my lean-to, I was able to just knock them with the axe and take them off. And that'd be a lot harder to do just as far as control if you had your hand this far down on the handle. So being able to choke up like this and really get a nice firm grip on this as you're doing that finer work or that more detail work is definitely an advantage of this axe. We're out in the field now. We'll show you the axe in action. Here's a look at it doing some of that finer work. There's your result there, and you can also see that this is where being able to choke up on that axe head makes it much easier to do that work as opposed to holding it way out here. A little more chopping of another down tree. Alright, we're back here in the studio for some final thoughts on this axe. I will let you know that as you just saw in the video, I tested it, and I did that in a variety of different settings, not just what you saw in the video, but some other places as well. And then I also had my buddy Andy, who's very familiar with knives and blades and such. He tested this as well. So we put our feedback together, we had some discussion, and here's our overall take on it. For what you're paying for it, and what you get for that price, we think there are better options out there when it comes to a wilderness survival or a bushcraft axe. Some of the pluses, I definitely like, again, the fact that there's that cutout in the head of the axe so you can choke up and do some of that finer work. But some of the downsides that stuck out to us, first, the circumference of the handle. It was just, as I mentioned earlier, just really big, and I have pretty large hands, and I still found it a little bit unwieldy, particularly because the head of the axe is so heavy. The other thing is, it was quite hard to sharpen. I'm going to have to take this to somebody who can do it professionally. I worked on it for quite a while. My friend Andy, who is able to get blades quite sharp, he's really good at sharpening things up, wasn't able to get a really great edge on this. At one point when we were using it, he was like, hey, where's the maul? You know, like, pass me the maul, just pass me the hammer, it felt like at some points when you're using this against a tree. It came decently sharp, but in the process of trying to sharpen it up, it just didn't seem to take the edge as well as either of us wanted. So I'm going to take this to someplace and get it reprofiled. I'm also going to get the handle reshaped a little bit so it is a little bit more comfortable. I will note that Condor has the Greenland style axe, and that looks like it would be a better option than this one when it comes to a wilderness survival axe or a bushcraft axe. This is the other thing I wanted to show you. It's going to be a little bit hard to see on camera, but there's actually kind of a dip here. So it kind of goes from a high point here, dips down, and then comes back up a little bit. So I'm going to have this entire thing reprofiled by someone who has the machines to do it effectively. But that definitely, I mean, even as I was running the sharpening stone, you could hear a different tone as you went from top to the middle to the bottom. It kind of went from one pitch to another and then back to the original pitch. So it has that dip there from the factory. It definitely needed some work to be done on it when it comes to what the blade actually looked like. As we close out here, I just want to tell you honestly that I'm disappointed that I didn't have a better experience with this. I really wanted this to be, all right, for the price point, for what you're paying for it, this is an awesome axe for bushcraft survival, whatever it might be. It just didn't perform the way I hoped it would. This may be a lemon in a batch of, awesome axes like this that they put out, but at least in my experience at this point, I'd say it's good. It's definitely not great, and there's probably better options out there. I'm interested to take a look at some of the tomahawks and even the tactical tomahawks that CRKT has put out. I have one on order, and I'll be getting that soon, and I hope to connect with them and see if I can get some other products for review. It seems like they might have an edge on some of these products. I know that Condor, a lot of people like their knives, their machetes, their other axes and such, so I'm not throwing Condor out completely. I'm just saying for this product, the one in particular that I have, it just didn't perform the way I hoped it would. So I always want to keep it real with you guys, let you know what I really think, not just give a thumbs up because people like the product. So overall, decent, but I would recommend you look some other places or borrow somebody's axe if they have one like this. Test it out, see what you think, and then make your own choices. As always, thank you for checking out our videos here on YouTube. Please subscribe to us if you haven't done so already. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and check us out on Tumblr. More videos coming soon. Take care.